Today is a big Diablo 4 patch, and I say big because it has 6 new rings in it, which is exciting. I guess it's 5. It has 5 new rings in it. So yeah, today Diablo 4 has 5 new rings coming in. The malignant, yeah, the malignant heart item rings, right? So these rings of powers that were very similar to the powers from season 1, right? And they come from Vershan. She drops them. He drops them today. So I thought it'd be fun to make a quick tier list of how beneficial it is to different builds on Barb. Right, so I made myself a lovely tier list right here. Obviously, Goat means that build's gonna use that ring like hardcore, right? Here's the ring, by the way. So this is the new Barb ring, right? It's got strength, it's got attack speed, it's got maximum fury, and it's got a huge 17.5 research generation roll, which is actually pretty impactful for some builds. Like research generation does not roll that high usually, and that's extremely high. After spending 100 Fury within 3 seconds, your next cast of Hammer, Upheaval, or Death Blow is guaranteed crit strike and will deal up to 30% multiplicative bonus crit strike damage. It's actually kind of cracked as a ring. So this is a combination of the one that was after spending 100 Fury, your next non-basic skill had a chance to crit increase, and there was another one that had you do more crit damage, right? It's like those two hearts that Barbs are using combined together into this one, and this is the Barb ring. It's kind of insane, right? So keep that in mind. It only works for Hammer, Upheaval, and Deathblow, so like already off the bat, Frenzy's unusable dog water. Like Frenzy just will not use it. It just won't use it. Double Swing won't use it. Ren won't use it. It just won't be used in these. It's just not usable in these builds because it only works for Hammer, Upheaval, and Deathblow, so unusable, right? Now, Deathblow right now, historically how it works is you use walk-in arsenal, weapon swaps to increase the damage of it, but also guaranteed overpower on it, right? So like the fact that you're now going to be able to guarantee an overpower crit is actually kind of huge because the meta right now is overpower to one-shot bosses. So an overpowered crit to do more damage, you just one-shot even harder. However, the setup on Deathblow, spending 100 Fury within 3 seconds, is actually a little awkward. It's a little awkward because you don't really have a huge way of dumping rage. Deathblow itself doesn't dump rage. I think you're gonna be encouraged to make it work though. I think we'll play with it here. As now it's out, right? But I have a feeling that this forcing crit overpowers just to one shot even harder is something that it's worth trying to build around in some way. Right? You just need a way to dump all your rage instantly, which could be Kick. Right? Kick does that. That being said as well, even though I'm saying this right now, Deathblow is already one-shotting stuff. Right? It's already one-shotting Yubilov. It's already one-shotting Daryl. It may not even be needed to make work. It may not even need to make work. It just may not. It just not. What does Rob tier list say about Kick? Well, it was C, but he's just wrong. Trust. I almost want to put it in filler because I almost feel like Deathblow doesn't need it. I think it's filler right now. I'll be honest. I think with Deathblow is filler, but with the idea of that new Avatar of Zeal endgame system coming out next month, where we're going to progression through harder and harder content, it's possible that you might want to make it work for that. At the same time, though, we are getting a new glyph that just increases our damage massively, so it may not even be needed to one-shot. It just comes down to, can this one-shot with it or without it? If it can only one-shot with it, you'll probably make it work. If it can't, so I'm going to put it in filler for now, actually. Straight up. Hammer of the Ancients. I feel like that's such an easy one. It's such an easy one. So Hammer, with good gear, is already in a position where it kind of one-shots most things. And it's spammable. And the spammable part's the key part. Because it's going to be very easy to spend 100 Fury within 3 seconds, and then cast another one with Hammer. It just is. You won't have to make it work. It's just going to kind of work already with the build. It's just going to take it from already just decimating stuff to just making sure everything doesn't live and just dies in its path. It's probably the meta now. I know like it was already pretty contended to be the meta. I think it's just going to be the meta now for Barb. And as we get the new endgame system, as much as I was saying Deathblow make it work, whatever, I feel like this is just gonna be the play for it, for the new endgame system. You're just gonna run a hammer. You're gonna run a hammer of this thing. It's incredible. Upheaval. I realize now I'm missing a build here. We'll add it in later. Upheaval is not a goat. The problem with Upheaval is, unlike Hammer where you're spamming it and have like a lot of rage to work with, I don't know if Upheaval is gonna have that. I mean, Upheaval itself can trigger it and then be used for casting it, so it does have an edge on Deathblow, but it's slower than Hammer, and I'm not sure if you have enough fairy generation to be able to proc it and then cast it again in 3 seconds smoothly. You probably can. I mean, you probably can. It might not even need to make it work, but I think it's gonna need some tuning and making it work. I think it's worth though putting it in for Upheaval. Again, we'll find out. It's out today, right? We'll find out. But I think this is what it kind of looks like. The last one I wanted to talk about that I don't have here, I'll edit an icon like right here, was Leapquake, where Earthquake leaps. I actually think that's gonna fall into make it work. I know how people play Leapquake right now. They're playing Berserking and not really using a dumper. They're just using kick to dump, and that's it. And I haven't tested it this season. I haven't had a chance to play it, but I'm pretty sure it's because Walking Arsenal may not buff Earthquake damage. Earthquake damage actually matters this season because of the glyph, right? We can actually buff Earthquake damage with the glyphs, so up in that damage even farther is good. And I think Berserk buffs it the most consistently easiest. But the version of Leapquake I played before this season did use Hammer, right? It was essentially Hammer the Ancients with leaps being generators and leaps adding to the damage of it. So I'm pretty sure Leapquake is gonna just be that. Like, you're just gonna swap back to Walking Arsenal, and you're gonna use Hammer and make it work because it's just such a good item. You're able to leap through stuff to clear out a room fast, and then one-shot elites and bosses. It actually might be so efficient to play that way, depending on how the endgame's set up here, the new endgame system, that it might become the GOAT. It actually might replace basic Hammer, because if Hammer can already one-shot, you just need to move faster, and what's moving faster than leaping around and clearing stuff and one-shotting bosses, right? I put in that and make it work, though. We're going to play with it. That's where we're at, though. That's where we're at with the rings. I think Hammer is the winner, though, for sure. And I think it's going to be the meta. It's going to be either just straight up Hammer like we're playing it currently, or it's going to be Leap Hammer. And I'm pretty excited to finally finish this frenzy unusable dog water build I'm playing right now, kill Obelow this week, and swap the Hammer. Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be good.